What's going on, Amateur Hour Sports Talk fans? It's your boy Bulldog B. I'm here with the crew. We got Triple C, we got Bunker Brown, we got Sweet Robbery, and we got, as always, Big Daddy D. Hey, we finally
There it
figured out how
is.
to put our damn logo on the TV
Got it.
again. So we're already one step ahead of where we've been the last couple of weeks. Hey, we got a great show for you guys today, man. We're gonna talk. Obviously, we can't go without talking about the Super Bowl and discussing
The fucking goat.
the goat. I mean, he's the goat. I don't think it's debatable at this point. But hey, we were all here watching the Super Bowl the other night. Some of us were a little disappointed in our picks. That would be this half of the table.
Were you disappointed in yours?
And then
I was
some of them
happy
were
with
pretty
mine.
happy with their picks. That would be that half of
goat.
the table.
I'm very
But,
TB12.
Hey, Bronco Brown, start us off, man. What you think? What you think about the Super Bowl in general? What you think?
So the Super Bowl basically cemented that Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. I don't think there's any arguing that.
None.
The Bucks defense. I think the real MVP though was the Bucks defense, regardless of how Brady played. Brady played really good though. 21 of 29, 201 yards, and then 3 touchdowns. By the way, we were all wrong because I think we all took the over on the passing yards.
We all were.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
we were all way off on the passing yards. Yeah,
So
Because
that
Brady only had, what,
201.
201.
And
201.
Mahomes had
only
270.
Yeah.
But now Mahomes, so the stats are kind of misleading though for Mahomes because he was 26 of 49, 270, and 2 interceptions.
I mean, no, they're not misleading. I mean, dude was running for his life, man. And-
he also rushed for 500 yards, whether they were positive or negative. he rushed. You know,
Well, I just say they were
next-gen
neutral
stats.
because he did throw like the passes that there were a bunch of passes in that game that were incomplete that either hit the dudes in their hands or hit them in
Yes.
their helmet,
Yeah.
or like he was making really good plays, scrambling left and right and throwing the ball, and they just couldn't catch it for whatever reason. And
Think about it like this, though, man. Like, you could probably go back, right, for the last 2 seasons for Kansas City and count on one hand how many drop passes those receivers had in the last 2 years. You probably can
And
go
they
back.
might have had more in that Super Bowl
And
game.
that Super
You
Bowl
know-
game, they probably that was
Now,
probably the most
I-
drop passes they ever dealt with.
We're not the players, so we can't say what the specific reason was for it. But when I went back and watched, because I watched the highlights and some of the game actually multiple times after we were here watching it, and you look at the Bucks defensive scheme, it was cover 2. They never blitzed. They rushed 4,
Right.
but every single play, one of those rushers was moving back as a spy. Then, when you looked at these plays, and I wrote down the specifics on some of these, they had Tyreek Hill in the end zone at the bottom of the first quarter. He drops it. How many people are around him? 3. They
I mean,
had
have you-
3 every.
4,
if you-
actually, if you even count his teammate.
they-
right.
I mean, seriously, every single play where we're talking about them dropping the pass, there's 3 freaking defenders around them. Why is there 3 defenders around them? Because they're only rushing 4.
Yeah.
And not only were they only rushing 4, but they were getting penetration.
Yes.
just
with
those 4.
They
Like,
ran through them.
The whole game I was asking myself, when did the Eagles offensive line come to Kansas City?
Yes, and that was a good
because
one.
they were awful. I know that they had two of their guards out, or left tackle or right tackle, whatever, but
I think
I
it was
mean,
only one Fisher.
was it just one?
Yeah, thought
Okay.
it-
If you
It
go
was
back,
bad.
if you go back and you look at just the fourth quarter, it was about at the 6-minute mark when there's that famous photo of Mahomes' neck getting crushed, and they had the roughing the passer call. That whole fourth quarter, it's 3 people because the one's literally being a spy.
Oh, yeah.
and they're still getting to him.
yeah.
They Barrett, Sue, Vita Vea, JPP, New York's finest, stand up baby. They all were playing like they were possessed.
You know you can't say that anymore, right?
Why?
He's a Buccaneer now. He won the Super Bowl with the Bucks now.
Why are you coming at me like that?
My apologies.
I pick-
JPP, stand up.
Thank
New
you.
York's finest.
Thank
Let's
you.
go.
Which
Thank you,
hand is
Drew
he going to
Brees.
wear those rings? Too soon?
Oh,
That's too
man.
soon, man.
soon.
Well, he
Hey,
has one hand.
Hey, did it affect his play?
It sure didn't.
It sure did. Mahomes was running for his life. He
He
got
was-
beat like a freaking dog.
Hey, he was grabbing
You know,
him with that one hand too. With-
Yeah.
The other thing with the passes being dropped, like you were saying, there was not only defenders around them, but like I remember watching Kelsey drop a few, and we call them drops, but they were contested.
Yes.
At least, but at the same time, in my mind, you're getting paid how much money to play professionally a game? If it's in your hands, if it touches your hands, you should come down with the ball.
Yes.
You really should.
I want
Man.
a caveat on something else Brown brought up about Brady. He talked about his stats. One of the things we all thought he was the GOAT before the game was played. What he did so great this game was protect that ball. Remember they had the missed snap in the third quarter, and it went about 20 yards back, and he fell on it. So he recovered that. The man threw no picks, 21 of 29, and none of the running backs fumbled the ball that game. The Bucks protected the football.
Well, he has 2 running backs that's not known for that. Leonard Fournette probably his whole collegiate and NFL career probably had maybe 4 fumbles.
Right.
That's not something. And then this dude Jones, I don't never recall hearing anything about him with a fumbling
Right,
problem.
but it's like between the running backs and Brady, I mean, they didn't make a mistake. They did not make a freaking
Didn't.
mistake.
They didn't.
I think what helped them out on offense was that run game.
Yes.
That run game, once that run game was solidified in that first half, you can say that was it.
Yeah.
Not even the first half, first quarter.
What I
Just the
thought was
first quarter.
interesting was, did you guys see the stat they put up on the screen? CBS put up about Tom Brady not scoring in the first quarter of all these Super Bowls. I thought that was interesting.
It is.
But they went 3 and out twice in a row, and then they started running the ball. And as soon as they started running the ball, then they were hitting on all those play actions,
Yep.
and it really solidified
Because
their
the
offense.
run game sets up the pass game. Dougie P. Anyway, hey, Gronk. I called it in our pregame show. I said he was going to have a big day. Just trying to toot my own horn, but I mean, it's a Super Bowl. You knew Gronk was going to be involved in some way. He didn't have a whole lot of yards, but he's definitely had 2 key touchdowns. He's a pass blocking and run blocking machine, that dude.
Yes.
He's just a big man child of a man. You know what I mean? Like it's so hard for defensive linemen to get through, let alone linebackers or safeties trying to they just don't happen.
Those linebackers
unreal.
had no clue what was going on. At one point, when Rob Gronkowski caught that one out route, man, the
Yep.
linebacker turned the opposite way.
He
Like,
did.
bro, he's running directly to you.
He
What
did.
are you twisting around for?
Yep. And
Like, how you not read that?
And when Fournette came out of the backfield that one time and went up the seam after there was no, or was it Jones? One or the other. Running back, yeah, there was the pass rush came in. There was nobody that he needed to block, and he waited for the safety to release off to the receiver going into the flat, and he just took off down the seam, and it was wide open, absolutely wide open.
You're definitely right on Gronk, but one of the things I kept bringing up, and I know I brought it up earlier today, is people were like, well, where was Gronk in the Saints game? Well, I'll tell you where he was. He's blocking Cameron Jordan, Davenport, and Hendricks.
Right.
So I agree with you where we all knew Gronk was going to come out tonight. He was not needed in that. Kansas City, did they have a pass rush? They sacked Brady once in the first quarter. I
think that was it.
They didn't see
I think-
anything after that.
I think that's the key, though, between Gronk in New England and Gronk here. They have other weapons besides
Yes.
Gronk. No, I got it. They had Julian Edelman. They had Hogan. But Gronk was a key part of that New England offense.
Yes.
Here, he doesn't need to be a key part. They have Evans. They got Godwin. They got a run
Even
game.
Brait is good.
Great. You know, they have AB. You know what I mean?
Wait till they get O.J. Howard back next season. Holy shit.
It's
They
unbelievable.
could have 3 tight ends.
It is unbelievable.
O.J. Howard is coming back next season.
That's bananas.
Holy shit.
I think so obviously the big story there was Brady and Mahomes playing against each other, the future GOAT and the GOAT, which Mahomes will never be the GOAT, but that's
Yeah.
another topic. The other line,
Man, you sound like Stephen A. Smith, bro.
the other story to me at least was how important it is to have a good D line in the NFL.
Yes.
So Mahomes was pressured, I believe it was 26 times, and Brady was only pressured like 6 times. So I know me and Schofield, we talk about the keys to a Super Bowl winning team: O-line, good quarterback, and a good defensive line.
That makes contender.
Yeah,
So
absolutely
if
agree.
I'm a GM in today's NFL, I'm loading all of my money into my defensive line, offensive line, and a decent quarterback.
That's,
mean-
Couldn't agree more, man.
everything else is interchangeable.
Well, you
Position
guys,
players are interchangeable. D-line produces better cornerbacks, better secondaries. O-line protects your main asset. And the main asset, if you have one, it's everything comes together.
'Cause
I
you-
think you guys are spot on.
You can have a decent. You don't even have to have a great secondary because that pass rush, as long as they're getting to the quarterback, those average players in the secondary are going to be able to make a play. They're all
Yeah.
NFL players.
Well, just to solidify your guys' point, just look at the last 10 years. The New York Giants, what a pass rush. The Ravens that year they won it, what a pass rush. The Seahawks, their whole defense was good. And then you had New England and then Philly. You got, I mean,
we had a hell of a pass rush. We only got to Brady one time, but it was when it
When it counted.
When it counted. You know what I mean? They did such a great job of protecting him. that Super Bowl. It was unbelievable. I just remember. I remember obviously it being a offensive shootout, but I just remember shaking my head in the fourth quarter, going, "We still have not gotten to Brady. Like, how is this possible?"
Yeah.
I think, and to go back on Brown's point, if you would have told me 31 points was all that was going to be needed to win on Sunday, I would have told you no way.
Yeah, you know.
It's going to be a
No,
shootout.
if you'd have told me that only one of
every
the teams
single-
only scored 9,
and
you know?
every single one of us predicted a shootout, right? Am I correct?
No, I said it would be 31-28.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but you
I
were
mean,
still
it's
way off on the
Oh,
points, though.
well,
so
yeah,
was
I
I.
was way off
I
on
said.
the
I think I said 40-34.
I said
Yeah.
I said 38-31, but it just goes to show you that beat up offensive line for the Chiefs. I mean, I know they were beat up, but that D line just manhandled them, and
So
it changed the
So
game.
I have a question for the group. I have a question. Did the Chiefs mess up by spending $500 million freaking dollars on Patrick Mahomes? Just a question.
No.
No, I
no,
don't think so.
I'm just asking.
Because at some point,
Half
right,
a-
as a
can I say it?
leader,
It
Can I
got
say
him
it
to
one
the
more
Super
time?
Bowl, didn't it?
$500 million.
It got him to the Super Bowl.
Well, he
didn't
got the money after the Super Bowl.
but it's a
win.
10-year contract.
Correct.
it? Yeah. It's
so
spread
they're
out.
good. That's it. It's spread it out.
They're good.
But I think if he wants to get
Just asking.
other influences to come into their organization, you know, offensive lineman, he'll renegotiate
You know, I
his
was gonna say
contract.
he could always restructure, and they know that.
He'll do that.
Okay, I'm just asking.
When that contract was signed, I thought it was a mistake personally because then you run into you have that magical 4-year rookie quarterback contract window, and it seems like the trend for the last few years has been let's succeed in that window, but now you give the quarterback that big contract and you're stuck. The Eagles, they're going to pay Carson Wentz $35 million this year, regardless. That's over
my God.
that's over 10% of the cap.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost sickening to hear.
I mean, the Browns are about to give Baker his contract, right?
Yeah, we gotta pay Baker, Chubb.
But see,
Ward.
I could pay Baker. I would pay him
Yeah, you can pay. I think he'll
because
take
you
it.
know why? He's consistent. He's played every year. When has he been hurt?
Doesn't get hurt very often. Knock on wood.
The only problem he's had, right, is something that he cannot control. Head
So-
coaching, offensive coordinator.
So
That's very true.
As for the Super Bowl, though, I don't think that contract had any
Nah.
effect on the one that just passed. But I think you're going to run into what Russell Wilson ran into with the Seahawks and we're going to talk about it more later. But
Yeah.
the lack of weapons, same with Aaron Rodgers,
I-
lack of weapons, lack of O-line.
Yeah, I don't like it. So I don't like big contracts. The only thing for big contract, the only thing that I guess I really could hop on is the fact that it's 10-year deal, right? But it's half of $500 million.
$500 million.
$500 million
Yeah.
over 10 years. That's still a huge cap hit every year. It's like $50 million every year, right? So these guys like Wentz, what he signed like a 4-year, 125.
128.
128. I don't like if you pay a quarterback that much because if they get hurt, I got it. You have to pay him. I'm not saying paying him, or I'm not saying don't pay him. I'm saying that maybe extend it a little bit more to where the cap hit isn't as big, and then there's always that chance of them getting hurt. So what happens if Mahomes goes out, 2 seasons from now, and he fucking can't play ever again because he does something terrible?
I'm sure
but
there's
only
some asterisks in that
there's
contract.
definitely
Yeah, because I think they say if he got hurt, he would only make. I'm saying it like it's nothing, but like 140 something million. So he would still be able to make 140 something million if he was to get hurt.
I thought his guaranteed was even more than that, to be honest with you. But it
But
could be,
regardless,
but,
that
I mean,
guaranteed is
regardless,
still
yeah.
going to be a huge cap hit to that team.
Yeah.
So look
Yeah,
at
but the
Browns are freaking out because Odell has 15 million in our cap hit coming up, and they're freaking out over 15 million. Imagine what Kansas City is going to do in
Trade him.
because
2 years.
That's because
when-
Cleveland's notorious for not paying
Yeah,
big contracts out. You know what I mean?
Shout out
Trade
Lindor.
him. I mean, that's something they decided to do anyway. They took that shit on from the Giants.
There definitely must be asterisks in the contract.
There has.
Yeah, I would assume he's still going to get paid regardless.
This is amateur hour sports talk, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have access to looking at the contracts.
Yeah. I mean, we could get a laptop out, but
I got a feeling Odell's gonna be up in
maybe we'll do
New
that.
England. Another
Maybe we'll do that for
Yeah,
another
but-
show.
I've got a second question for the group. Were we all good with the MVP choice? Because I think that I can go first unless somebody wants to jump on it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I thought Fournette had good standing for an MVP vote. I really do. I know he didn't get 100 yards rushing, but when you go back and watch that game, he set the tone. I mean, did you see him running into the Kansas City Chiefs defenders?
He was
I
running
personally think they need to cut that trophy into 4 different pieces and give it to the damn defensive line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were the real MVPs of this
Yeah.
game.
I bet Brady's
And-
probably just like, here, one of
And
you guys can take it.
I know that some of us, including myself, and we were talking about it during the game, there was some questionable penalties. Did that make the whole game? Eventually, no.
Yeah.
Eventually,
No
no.
impact
We
on the
saw
game.
that because the offensive line could not stop the defensive line whatsoever. But did it
Not at
hurt
all.
them in that first half because they weren't able to run the ball because they were down by so much after a while? Again, like we talked about with Stafford, why he has so many yards in his career because, well, by that point in the game, all he's doing is passing because they're down by so much. Well, the running game, it worked. Edwards-Helaire, he was doing all right.
Yes, he
was
was
doing
doing
his
good.
thing.
He
But
was.
he wasn't able to keep going because the run game became obsolete because they were down by so much. My biggest problem, I got it, the pass interference penalty where he tripped, Evans tripped over the feet, whatever. In real time, you can't see what actually happened. It is what it is. I have a big problem with a ball being tipped at the line and they still call defensive holding. If that was pass interference, it negates the pass interference call.
I agree.
So why is the defensive holding call still stand when the ball is tipped at the line?
So-
Even if the guy's being held down and punched in the face, he's still not going to be able to have an opportunity at the ball.
So I know some people were emotional during game day about some of those penalties. I went back and looked at all of them. I agree with you on that one. That's the one that I think should be taken away. It shouldn't have been a penalty.
And the offsides on the field goal.
Well, he was
No,
offside.
there was 2 people offside.
And
though,
there
on
was
that
2.
one. I got it. It was
Come
like
on.
it
So
looked
when
like
I-
a U
Come
shape.
on.
When I rewatched it, it almost looked like there was 3. I mean, there was the 2 on the one side and the 1 on this side.
Nah.
So
You know.
the refs are, I think, very lucky that it was the blowout
I agree.
possession game that
Yeah.
it was, because if it would have came down, that was an interception. It was
Yes,
an
it
interception.
was.
The
It
ball
was.
was tipped. That's a game-changing play. That's what it was, and it was at that moment. Momentum swung to the Chiefs, and then one was instantly lassoed and pulled back in.
And then they scored a
just like
touchdown
that.
right off of
And they
it.
Yeah.
scored a touchdown right off of it.
Scored a touchdown, and as he scored a touchdown, it was a pass interference call.
Let's go to the next penalty, right? And I'm not here to argue penalties, but where they scored the pass interference left side of the field to, I think it was Miller.
Evans.
Was it Evans?
It was Evans, yeah.
And then they scored a touchdown right before half, right?
Yeah.
If Andy Reid didn't call, because the the Buccaneers were content with running the ball, running the clock, and going into half. What was that before that touchdown? The score? It was 10-3, 9-3.
No, it was 17, 18.
No, are you talking about the
I'm talking
Super?
about
You
right
just said
before
Anthony-
half.
You just said right before half. It was 14-6. They scored the touchdown.
Yeah,
That made
yeah,
it 21.
21-6.
So,
yeah, yeah.
so 14-6, and the Buccaneers were running the ball. Right,
And Andy
the first
Reid
two
called a
plays.
timeout.
Andy Reid
and
called a
Andy
timeout.
Reid called 2 back-to-back timeouts. Then the Buccaneers got that
They got a first down with
first
Gronk,
down, and then they started throwing the ball.
and then they started throwing.
'Cause
Yes.
they
If
got closer.
Andy Reid, and it was like what, a minute left at this point.
There was a minute, yeah.
Why didn't they just let the clock tick? If Andy Reid, granted, we are amateur hour sports talk. I'm not an NFL head coach, but you let the Buccaneers be good, content with a 14-6 lead. You're getting the ball back at half. The Bucs, by running that ball, they're like, yeah, we're good with the lead we have. And then that pass interference play came out because they took the shot downfield, scored a touchdown. Now it's a 2-possession lead going into halftime versus 1 possession and you're getting the ball back immediately.
I agree.
I think that's something that was
I
overlooked.
don't even think that was the coaches that made the call on the Bucks' behalf. I think that was all Tom Brady.
You think that was Brady that
Yeah.
he went off script, huh?
Man,
I
I
think
think
he
that
did
was
too.
all
He probably
Tom
does
Brady,
that all the
man.
time.
Do you see the man freaking folding his clothes in the locker room while everybody,
everybody
else
partying.
has goggles on, pouring champagne? He's folding his fucking clothes. You gotta be kidding.
Hey,
Go.
like he said when he got his MVP award and they handed him the trophy or the Super Bowl trophy or Lombardi, he said it wasn't for him. It was for everybody else.
Yeah.
He's already been there. He's done that 6 times, now 7. 6 previous. But it was for everybody else who hadn't already been there, and that was for them. Hey, hats off to fucking Tampa Bay, man. They went out this past offseason with one goal in mind, signing Tom Brady and to win a Super Bowl.
And they did it.
They did it.
So
They
I got to
did.
give Colin. I was listening to Colin Coward the other day.
Oh no, stop.
I know,
Oh,
but
God.
he did bring up one thing, and I'm going to give some love to some people who are about to be surprised.
I'll take Stephen A over that dude.
Well, some people are going to be surprised. I will say he brought up a good point where we always had this question, is it the system? Is it the system? And we had that question with Joe Montana. He goes to the, Chiefs, gets to the AFC Championship, doesn't get to the Super Bowl. There was a question about Jordan. Is it the system? Is it the system? Well, there's been 2 players in sports history where they said, no, motherfucker, I am the system. And that's Brady and LeBron James.
Yeah.
I got to give the man credit. Where LeBron goes, he wins.
You can say that again.
He's the fucking system.
What's your favorite saying, bro? What?
That's money, dude.
About to be a fight on the table.
Oh man. Oh man.
Hey, I will say that.
Good
pass
thing you
inter-
got 3 big guys here to break it up.
I love
I
that pass
break it up.
interference call because that gave the Chiefs a little taste of what they did to us in
I love it.
Come
I love it.
Hey.
I love it.
Look, that's exactly the same thing.
It's
It looked
funny.
one way to the refs.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't throw the flag for us,
You
and then it
know-
looked one way to the refs in the Super Bowl, and they threw the flag for it.
Usually, if your team's in the playoffs and you get beat, you hope the team that beat you wins the Super Bowl. So then
That's
you can
not
at least
true.
say
That's not true.
That's
Hey,
not
That's
true.
not true. I wasn't looking for the Bucks to win.
I wanted
shit.
the Bucks to win.
I want
I've
those
always
fuckers
wanted the
to
team that beats me
lose.
to
The
win the
Saints?
Super Bowl.
The year the Saints beat us with the Lattimore interception, and then I watched that no call or that end of. I was
Yeah.
like, because the comment section, all that, who that?
We still who that,
Talk
baby.
trash on the Eagles, all that shit. And I wanted to. This time I didn't really know you. I was like, I want those fuckers to lose.
Hey, we digressed off the MVP. Did anybody else think somebody deserved the MVP? I know you said
Shaq
the whole
Barrett.
deal. Shaq Barrett.
Yeah, I mean, just that
Every
whole
time you
defense,
look,
yeah.
That dude, his hand was on Mahomes some
He
kind
was
of way.
playing. He was playing possessed.
Honestly, anytime they showed a camera angle of the camera that's on the string behind Mahomes and the snap, all you saw was after the play or after he let go of the ball and people started to run back upfield, all you saw was 58.
That's
58, 58, 58, 58. He was everywhere. He was everywhere.
He was on it.
Well, you can't give it to the entire defensive line, or else I would say the defensive line. But if you had to pick one person, it's Brady.
It's
It
pretty-
has to be Brady. It can't not be.
I
Brady.
thought Fournette had a good. I thought he had a good
It
argument.
only has to be Brady because that's what the NFL says. The quarterback.
I know that
Whoa.
Fournette had a good game and he scored a touchdown, but I think that him and Jones had the equal workload.
Fournette, I think, had way more.
Fournette
Yeah,
had
more
more
yards.
yardage.
Fournette
than-
had
I
like
think
he had almost 100 yards.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
he
I'm
had,
saying.
He had over 100 yards from scrimmage.
Correct.
So he
Oh,
had
That's
like
what I'm
106
saying.
yeah.
Like he didn't
All right.
have. Like I think when was it Deion Branch that won it for the Patriots? He had like 150 yards receiving with like 12 catches or whatever. So Fournette didn't get
No,
quite.
that
to
that was James White.
No, I'm talking Deion Branch back.
Oh, you're
I'm
talking about back
early.
in the day.
I'm talking
okay.
back
I
in
was
the
gonna say
day.
James White won it
I
against
hate that
Falcons.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hate who? Deion Branch?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like
Why,
our
man?
Super Bowl,
Yeah.
McNabb Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And,
was McNabb's Super Bowl.
Rodney Harrison and
Yeah.
Teddy Bruschi broke my little heart.
Hey, I wanna say one thing real quick. Tyreek Hill, you got exactly what you deserved. My favorite part of the game was when he threw that peace sign right in your freaking face.
That was
you go to
kinda funny.
Tampa Bay and you want to give these guys the peace sign, do a backflip in front of Winfield Jr., go to the sidelines, pick up a phone, shout out to the fans, help is on the way. Yeah, help is on the fucking
Well, that
way.
wasn't
They
the
just
original. That wasn't his. He took that from somebody.
No, I know he did, but he still did it. So guess what, Tyreek, Cheetah, who looked like a Siamese pussycat on the fucking field I made at.
Whoa. Hatred.
You got
hatred
you
going
got
on,
your,
man.
you got your
Oh,
ass kicked.
man.
Go fix your hair and get back to playing wide receiver. Devontae Adams is still the best receiver in the league.
Wow.
Thank you.
Negative. Michael
Whoa.
Thomas.
I was angry.
Michael Thomas.
Back to the
Hey,
close out.
Michael
the
Thomas is better than Tyreek Hill.
Back to the close out the MVP. I think on the pregame show.
I'm starting shit.
Have you guys never heard of Nelson Aguilar? It's a joke,
Okay.
clearly.
The guy yelled
Plays for the
like
Raiders,
because all he
right?
did was drop the ball.
Hey,
Well, he's having he had a good year with the Raiders.
I know.
Anyway.
I would. I only said it because I remember him and I having a conversation.
Winfield
like, this
Jr.
guy-
Shout out. That was my favorite part of the Super Bowl.
go ahead, Rob. What you got?
I was just going to close out the MVP
Please.
question. But, I mean, I don't think we should come. We've come and gone so far. from it.
I have a question for you guys.
Let's hear it.
go.
So, Winfield and Hill weren't the only people beefing on the field. Matthew and Brady got into it
Yeah.
after Matthew got broke the fuck off by Antonio Brown in the end zone.
Yes, he did get broke
Tom-
the fuck off.
Tom
the
Brady-
The honey badger. Oh, excuse me.
LSU. Let's ride, baby.
Are you
All day, every day.
Are you sure you're not a Buccaneers fan?
No,
I'm 100%
he's
sure.
a Patriots fan.
Who knows at this point?
I think he's a diehard Patriots fan,
You're
and Tom
very-
Brady left, and
You're very emotionally invested. You were, into this.
Well, I wanted the Bucks to win, yeah.
Okay.
So-
I'm not a huge Tyreek Hill fan.
Is it because the Chiefs beat the Bills?
Maybe.
Makes sense. All right. See, that's why I agree with that.
Listen,
back.
we've been trying to figure out why you're down here depressed all night. Don't try to figure out why I'm trying to.
I'm tired. I went to the gym.
but I do have to agree with you. You weren't
Disappointed.
acting like this when the Bills lost to Kansas City. I mean,
He wasn't acting like this when
He
the
was
Bucks
late.
beat the Saints either.
I know. Wow.
They both,
What do you mean when the Bucks beat
They
the
were
Saints?
waiting.
You weren't this excited
What?
about the Bucks beating
Not,
the
but
Saints.
not about
Well,
the
because I
Bucks.
picked the Saints.
Okay. so
Fuck,
it's
I
all
wanted
about
the
your
Saints
pick.
to win.
All right,
I know.
well, we got it. So it's all about your pick. All right.
Yeah, I
All
wanted
right.
the Saints
That's
to
all right.
win.
That's good.
So
So yeah,
All about your pick.
I told
Hey,
you.
hey,
that.
Matthew
You did?
and Brady. Matthew and Brady.
So was Tom? So after the game, if anybody didn't know, Tom Brady sent an apology text to Matthew. Is that a flex, or is that just being sportsman? Like,
So I'm with him on this.
Honestly, I think that is just Tom Brady being Tom Brady, and by that I mean he's a competitor on the field, but off the field he's a upstanding
Yes.
gentleman of the game. I
Yes.
really do, and I don't want that to sound all touchy feely. Let's all
Well,
hug it
it
out,
does.
but at the same time, he's a the GQ of the NFL, if you will. You know what I mean? He's got a standard to uphold, and I really think that while you're on the field, it's one thing. He's competitive. He does his thing. But off the field, he's like, hey, you know what? If I came at you the wrong way, that's my bad. I apologize. And I think he was sincere about it. I really do.
I'm with him though.
Nah, that's bullshit.
Well,
I look. I get it. You're on that field. Emotions. Passion for the game. It happens, right? But I would have preferred if he would have went to the locker room as the GOAT, right? As the GOAT, and said, "Hey, have Matthews come out here. I need to speak to him. Let him know TB2
that's where I'm
12
with him.
want to talk to him one on one." And I don't want nobody else got to hear about it. It's just
Yep.
him and I. And leave
So
it at
who
that.
did Tom Brady say that he sent a text, or did the media report it?
I don't know
Did
how it
Tyrann
came.
Matthew report it? Did somebody?
Who?
I bet it wasn't Brady that said, "Hey, by the way, I sent him a text."
It
He
was
wasn't
definitely
looking,
Matthew.
He wasn't looking
No,
for
it
the
wasn't
press.
Matthew. It was it doesn't happen. He's Tom Brady. I'm Matthews, and he's, hey, I got his phone number. No, it's what are these people called? The publicists. Somebody said something, but not
PR
those
people.
two.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those two. It's just like if that was the case, Tyrann Matthews could have actually said what was said on the field. What he said was he took the bully. He like, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys treat me like I was the person that did wrong. It's okay. I'm cool with it. Looking back at the camera, he's like, look back at the video. I said Tom Brady was the GOAT or whatever he said, He wasn't bashing him. He still didn't bash him after whatever transpired on the field. He didn't let that affect his decision on who the GOAT was. You know what I'm saying? He gave Tom Brady his credit.
well, he
and-
should have remembered that when he was playing him, and he tried to talk shit to him.
Well,
Bro, you got half of
Brady-
LSU players on your team, bro.
started it.
If I'm Tom Brady and Matthew comes up to me and says anything to me, I'm like, dude, I'm
Brady-
the best ever. Get the fuck out of my
The
face.
reports are
Bro,
Brady started.
Brady
Yeah,
started.
but
That's why
what
he
happened-
apologized.
No,
That's
whoa,
why he
whoa, whoa,
apologized.
Hang
No,
on.
no,
What
no.
happened before that
No.
play?
So
Did something happen with Matthew before that play
Yes.
that nobody
So
saw?
Matthew started
That's what I'm
everything.
saying.
No.
Mhm.
yes, he did.
And I'm only
He
asking that because
intercepted-
Brady. When's the last
remember-
time Brady has instigated
It was the
anything on this
interception.
show?
He hasn't.
Right?
It was the interception.
No, it what?
Yes.
Dude, we went over this today.
Here
you
we
can
go.
go to YouTube.
So okay.
It was the interception, man.
There was a play before the interception where Godwin, it's when he dropped the ball in the first quarter. Matthews threw some sign over the Brady and he was chirping him. Then the interception
Maybe.
happened and he continued it there. Then another play happened and he kept running. This guy has a YouTube video where he shows 4 times Matthews going over to the line of scrimmage saying something to Brady, and then finally Brady went off. And what Brady said to him, because he slowed it down where you can read his voice, he said, "I'm coming right at you. I'm coming right at you." And then he threw the ball to Brown. He came right at him.
Well, what-
so
but what else did
coming
Brady
right
say?
at him. That was the reason for him to send an apology text
Yeah,
message.
so what
no,
else
Would you
did
be-
No, he said something else.
Would
He
you be
obviously
this
said-
passionate about this if Tyrann Mathieu played for Alabama? I don't think you would.
no.
I don't think you would. I think you're defending the LSU guy at all costs, and I think that negates your whole argument. Personally,
No, I'm not.
Man,
That's the fact.
that was harsh.
I'm
I'm just saying.
I'm passionate
We-
because
but
I
at
would
the
have
same
I would have appreciated it more. That I appreciate that he still apologized. I would appreciate it more if Tom Brady would have been like, "Hey, I need somebody to have Matthews come out of the locker room and come talk to me over here in the fucking
You guys
storage
don't
closet."
think that? See, I agree with him. It should have
think-
been done in
So
person.
why? Why are we?
that would have
One,
been breaking
if you're
COVID
if-
protocols.
Well,
if you're-
first of all,
If you're apologizing, you said something personal or something very
But he said-
disrespectful. If you're apologizing for something you said on the field,
That's
but
true.
that's what I'm saying.
I
is,
don't really care about the apology at all. Personally, I don't care how. it
That's
was.
why I'm saying it should have been 1-on-1. The media don't have no publicist. Don't have my publicist go get his publicist, and then next thing you know, one of these two fuckers leaked the, "Hey, Tom Brady asked for his number so he could send him a text message." Like that's what happened, man. I guarantee. That's how that shit got out.
I think I see what you're saying. If Tom Brady must have said something more than "I'm coming at you," if he
Yeah.
felt the need to apologize.
Yeah,
Right.
but also
So
maybe.
maybe.
Think about it like this: maybe Brady didn't want to go over and be like, "Hey, come out out of the locker room right after you just lost in the Super Bowl,
right? That's
and my
that's
team's
also
out
true.
here partying, and your
That's
team's
also
out there
true.
sulking."
Hey,
I'm
hey,
the GOAT.
I'll tell you what.
His
a lot of
team was
people-
partying right with him in the locker room. What was he doing?
folding clothes.
Hey, a lot of people
Wouldn't
had
worry about a
issue-
party.
a lot of Eagles fans had issues when Brady didn't come out after the Super Bowl when Foles and congratulate Foles. I had no issues with that. It's the Eagles' first Super Bowl in history. Let them celebrate. I'll talk to you off the field. He's probably got his number. I'll call you later and congratulate you. I don't need to do it on the field. You're celebrating with your teammates. I had no issues with that. Now, I did notice that afterwards, Mahomes did go up, congratulate Brady. Hey, you're the GOAT. Good job. And then they ran off the field. But I still had no issues with Brady not going to Foles and saying, hey, congratulations, way to get one. I don't think it was disrespectful. I think he was allowing Foles to embrace the moment with his teammates. I mean, it's number one. Brady had 5 at that point,
Yeah.
right? He was just, hey, do your thing. I'll call you later.
My take is Matthew started it. I think Brady said something that was probably very inappropriate, and that's why he reached out. But I think he should have reached out in person.
All right.
Because if it was that bad where he's sending a text, I think he should have done it in person.
I just don't think that the apology should have been leaked at all.
I agree with that.
I don't
too.
disagree.
Why are we spending 6 minutes on this topic? 1, but 2, why is this
Thanks,
a
Brown.
main headline?
Yeah, thanks, Brown.
Everybody's talking about it.
It's just,
It's a part of the Super Bowl.
and
It's
if
not
it
that
is
it's just a
being
topic.
leaked, it's because Brady's trying to save face. That's
And it-
my personal
No,
opinion.
I,
or else it
I
wouldn't
don't.
be leaked.
I don't
doubt
think
it.
it was him.
I don't think so.
If that
All
was
right.
the case, he could have went to the podium and said it.
Right.
All right. Final thoughts on the Super Bowl. Triple C.
Hey. They might run it back next year.
They could very well do that. Brown, what you got?
Brady's the goddamn GOAT. Fucking University of Michigan. Go
Whoa.
blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet Rob.
Beginning of season when the Bucks acquired Tom Brady and then all the other pieces they put together, I made the statement that you cannot buy a championship-winning team, and I was wrong.
We've heard that a lot.
Congrats, Buccaneers, and then
Been a lot this season.
it's been
We've heard it a lot.
this season. Congrats, Bucks. Also, Mahomes. I mean, I don't think the hate he's been getting over the last 24 hours I've seen. I don't think he deserves it by any means. I think the man played his heart out. And the next gen stat that you stated earlier, the 500 yards scrambling, says it all.
Yep.
He was running for his life.
Yep.
Daddy D, what you got?
Nothing, man. Tom Brady, the fucking GOAT. Fuck.
He is. He is.
I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it. Wasn't the best Super Bowl, but hey, he did it again.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Just
He might do it next year.
you,
Hey, I'm with you, Sweet Rob, man. When they signed Brady and they started putting all these pieces together, especially when Gronk got signed again and came out of retirement, I was like, that is still not going to be enough. I was absolutely wrong. Brady did his thing. Not only did he go through Breeze, Rodgers, Mahomes, he went through the NFC, South in the South and won that, or not win it, but I mean, like he had to get there and he did it. There's hands down, he's the GOAT. Real quick, I saw that this something about this doesn't do Eric Bieniemy any justice when trying to look for head coaching jobs. I don't think that has anything to do with the Super Bowl. You can't look at it that way. I think there was a lot of other factors that contributed to this, but again, like you said, I don't think it does anything for Mahomes. I don't think this has anything to do, or I don't think he deserves all the criticism that he's been getting.
yeah, that's,
He's still young, and you know what? He's going to learn. Nobody called Tom Brady a shitty quarterback when he lost his first one against the Giants. So you know what I mean?
here's my thing with the
It is
Eric
what it
Bieniemy
is.
thing, and I'm not going to say anything else. What was the coach name for the Jets just this year? He was also hired by
Gase?
the Dolphins. Yeah,
Adam Gase.
if you're going to hire that guy,
Yeah, right.
if you're going to hire him,
I agree.
That's a tanking coach.
I
you
really think that
you
Eric
might want to
Bieniemy-
rethink that.
I really think that Eric Bieniemy is a product of his own success, and that's why he hasn't been hired because
Yeah.
they can't do in-person interviews. But anyway, that's a different topic.
Contract negotiations is on the table for him anyway this year. I
Yeah,
guarantee they're probably
that's
going to
true.
make sure that he's the highest paid offensive coordinator in
All right.
NFL history.
Hey, coming up, we'll be back. We're going to talk about franchise quarterbacks and how much of a say they should have.